Okay, go ahead.
Hi, this is Allie from Mount Aloysius College, and I am one of the assistant directors of freshman admissions. So thanks for listening and thanks for giving me your time. So here is our administration building on campus. We always say it kind of looks like Hogwarts. So that's just a nice picture of our front building. So who are we? We're a small private liberal arts institution of higher education, founded by the Sisters of Mercy. Mount Aloysius was founded in 1853 by the Sisters of Mercy. Our mission is to serve all students, and we offer master's, bachelor's, and associate's degrees. We have two master's programs. We have a master's in business, and we also have a master's in community counseling. As far as bachelor's degree goes, we have over 70 plus majors, some dealing in humanities, so like business, history, political science, criminology, psychology, and we also have programs in the medical field such as nursing, medical imaging, and under medical imaging we have ultrasonography, we have nuclear med, radiation therapy, and then we have associate degree programs too in both of those fields, criminology, and also in the medical field we have surge tech, and we also have a couple associate's degrees in the medical imaging field as well. Where are we located? So we're not that far away from you guys. We're about maybe not even an hour from you guys, maybe like 45 minutes. Mount Union, definitely an hour. Juniata Valley, maybe a little bit less. We're located between Johnstown and Altoona. Easy access to airports and entertainment. Which is true, and you guys live close enough that you know we're pretty close, but Altoona obviously is near you guys. There's lots to do there. And on the other side, what you might not be as familiar with, we have Ebensburg on the other side in Johnstown, and there's shopping centers and different activities to do there too. Nestled in the Allegheny Mountains, which so are you guys, and campus is surrounded by hiking trails and fishing spots. Again, as you guys know, living as close as you do, there's a lot of outdoor activities.
I think we lost you.
Golf, we have women's volleyball. We just added men's volleyball, women's lacrosse. We have men's baseball. We have softball for women, men and women's basketball. I know I'm forgetting some, but 15 competitive sports. We have online options for students to take, especially right now during the pandemic. There are a lot more online options, and if that works, we might continue to do some online options for students, and renovations to Imson Hall. So Imson is our freshman dorm. Most of the freshmen stay there, and it's also the oldest dorm because that's what happens when you're a freshman, right? You get the oldest thing. And we are doing renovations. This summer, they ripped up all the flooring and they're going to put new flooring in. And it's also going to get new furniture, air conditioning, and an elevator, so you won't have to carry your stuff upstairs, which is awesome. Academics, so 97 and 99% job placement rate, and that is overall. Obviously, medical programs have a more job placement rating, and actually our nursing program has 100% job placement rating. And the reason for that is because a lot of our nursing faculty still works closely with hospitals and and some of them still actually do work at hospitals. Highly qualified professors. Your classes are never taught by a graduate assistant or anything. They are always taught by someone with the highest degree in their field. So in your business classes, you would be taught by someone with their doctorate in business, and that goes for nursing classes. You could be taught by a nurse practitioner or someone who has their doctorate as a nurse. We are responsive. we are such a small campus. As you can see, there's the 11-to-1 student to faculty ratio, 14 average class size. So you're always going to be talking. I would be your admissions counselor, and you're always going to be talking to me. You're never going to be talking to somebody else, obviously, unless you want to talk to a professor or something. But the beauty of that too is if you did want to talk to a professor, we're so small that professors are very responsive, and we're a very responsive campus. Student life. So we have, like I said, NCAA Division III is our athletic conference, campus-wide and community events. We like to get the campus involved in events. We have a bunch of different events on campus, not having to do with sports. And we have over 100 plus clubs and activities, and there's a club for each major, but there's also clubs and activities that have nothing to do with majors. And just to name a few, there's a paranormal club. We have a comic book club that holds a Comic-Con every year, art club, and there's many. And we have intramural sports, which are, if you don't know, sports that you don't have to play competitively in Division III, just like you and your friends hanging out together. We do have 5 residence halls. I did mention IMSON as the freshman residence halls, but we also have St. Joe's and St. Gert's, and those are in our main building. We also have Macaulay Hall, which is our mostly sophomore dorm, and then Michon, which is our senior, junior dorm. And all of these dorms, there's no public bathrooms. I always like to tell students that, because at other places, you do share a bathroom with like your whole floor. Here you share it with your roommate and your suite mate. So there's 4 of you sharing a bathroom, and each dorm gets their own sink. And all the dorms, except for IMSON, but coming soon, have air conditioning, which is awesome. We're a growing community, campus ministry, service learning, and community outreach. So we have Catholic roots. That does not mean you have to be Catholic to go here. Only 40% of our population here is Catholic. We're not going to force you to go to mass or to church or anything, but it's there if you want it. And if you're Catholic, there are resources for you. And if you're not, that doesn't mean you can't be part of campus ministry and you can't be part of service learning. Like, we welcome everybody from all different, creeds and religions. Multicultural Affairs Committee supports and encourages inclusion on campus. We are always trying to up our diversity of our different students. So we have created the Multicultural Affairs Committee, and that is to welcome everybody, and that's for everybody on campus. We also have International Club and Service Members Club. So International Club is for students. We have a pretty big international students population. And as you can see from the little graph down there, 25 countries and 6 continents, and students from 26 states. So we really are full of diversity, but we always want to grow, and we always want to make ourselves better. Excuse me. Financial aid. So I also have a financial aid video that I'm going to show, but I'm just going to go over a little bit of the financial aid. We have the Mother Frances Ward Foundress Fellowship, and that is a full tuition scholarship. And there are qualifications for that. You have to either be the valedictorian or the salutatorian of your class. You have to have at least a 3.5 GPA, and I believe that the SAT score you have to have is 1260, I think. And if you're eligible for that, we'll send you a packet. And then there's the Mercy Presidential Scholarship, and that's $14,000 a year for all 4 years that you would be here. You'd have to be in a 4-year program. You'd have to have a 3.3 GPA at least. And you have to be a resident on campus for that scholarship. And that is also interview based, and so is the Mother Frances Ward Fellowship. Every student that comes to MAC receives a merit-based scholarship, and that's based on your GPA. Higher GPA, higher amount of money you would receive. It's also based on whether you live on campus or you're a commuter. And then we have a heritage scholarship. So that's for students who come from private private institutions such as a Catholic school or a Christian school. Out-of-state grants we offer to our out-of-state students. Vox Nova Scholarship, and this is a scholarship for students who really love singing and are involved in maybe their musicals or chorus, and that's $1,000 a year, and that also has an interviewing process. Theater Scholarship, same thing, also has an interview process. The Bell Tower Fellowship, that is our school newspaper, and you would write articles for the school newspaper, and you'd get $1,000 a year if that's something you want to think about. We have need-based grants, Mercy need-based grants, and that's obviously based on your need as a student. So if you need more money, our financial aid office will look into that for you. And then we have 90+ endowed scholarships. And I get a lot of questions about what is an endowed scholarship. And endowed scholarships are scholarships that people in the community or donors give to colleges. And these scholarships, I mean, can range from just financial need to something more specific, like a freshman who's in nursing from like Huntington County or something crazy like that. And they do get really specific. So I always tell students apply for ones with more specific criteria because you're more likely to get that scholarship. And we also have work study program, and some of you might have heard of work study, but work study is basically they take money off your tuition and you work for whatever department is hiring students. So you could work for athletics, you could work for financial aid, for admissions, for the library. So there's a bunch of different places you can work for. Our average aid package is $12,000 a year. And then 98% of our students receive financial aid. And the only reason it's 98% and not 100 is some students choose to go part-time. And if you choose to go part-time, that means you're taking less than 12 credits, which means you're not eligible for financial aid. And that's everywhere, not just here. As far as admissions goes, we have rolling admissions, and what rolling admissions means is that there's no deadline to apply. Whenever you apply and you get all your credentials in, that's when we'll accept you. We have a free and easy online application process, and we are test optional, which that means for most programs. That means that we don't require your SAT or ACT scores. Now, there are certain programs that do require those scores, and they're medical programs. So nursing is one of them, and any cooperative programs such as like pre-PT or pre-PA or pre-OT, those programs like pre-farm, those kind of things, those require your SAT or ACTs because the school you go to after us is probably going to ask you for them anyway. We're one of the colleges of distinction this year, and we're also one of the best value schools. And all our contact information is on this page, and also on the website, you can find your counselor, which I'm just going to tell you right now, it's going to be me. So if you click on my face, you'll get all my contact information too. So that's the end of that PowerPoint. And I'm going to pull up our financial aid video. And Julia, are we still good for time?
Yeah, we're good.
Okay, I'm going to pull up the financial aid video, and that's about 10 minutes. And then after that, I'll answer some questions Ms. Ernst might have. So here's this for you.
And to give you some basics on how financial aid works, the way of financial aid, and to give you some basics on how financial aid works. How to pay for college is one of the most important decisions a student and family can make. Applying for financial aid is a key step in pursuing a degree. It should not be overlooked, even if you don't believe you'll be eligible. We often get the question, what makes Mount Aloysius affordable? You're going to find that Mount Aloysius tuition and fees are deliberately lower than you'll find at other comprehensive private colleges. Our scholarships often result in a lower bottom line cost than other private colleges and universities, and we're often on par with public colleges and universities. And our students graduate on time. Approximately 98% of our students receive scholarships and financial aid. The average aid package based on grants and scholarships is approximately $12,000. Sticker price versus actual price. When calculating the cost of attending Mount Aloysius College, it's important to remember that through tuition discounting, no student pays the full sticker price. Through generous grants and scholarships, the actual price is lower than the published sticker price. Students can qualify for up to a maximum of $18,000 in institutional aid alone. Basic types of financial aid: grants and scholarships, which are money that you do not have to repay; loans, which are money that do have to be repaid upon graduation; and work study, which are on and off-campus employment opportunities. Mount Aloysius participates in the federal Pell Grant program, the FIA State Grant program, FSEOG, which is a federal supplemental educational opportunities grant, nursing loans, federal work study program, and the federal direct Stafford and Plus loan programs. As you can see from this slide, Mount Aloysius has a variety of institutional aid programs to help you in your goal of achieving a degree. We have our Mount Aloysius Merit Grants and Scholarships, which are academic-based awards based on high school GPA and housing status, which range from $24,000 over a 4-year period to $40,000 over a 4-year period. And there are GPA requirements for each scholarship or award. We have our Mother Frances Ward Foundress Fellowship, which is a full tuition scholarship. And this is for enrolling first-time, full-time freshmen who have attained the honor of being either the class valedictorian or salutatorian, and you will be invited to compete with an essay and competitive interview on campus for this fellowship. We also have another prestigious scholarship called the Mercy Presidential Scholarship, which is $14,000 a year or $56,000 over the 4-year period. Students are invited to compete for one of the 30 scholarships, and this is based on academics and leadership in high school. Mount Aloysius also offers the Mount Aloysius College Mercy Need-Based Grant, and to qualify for this, you must file a FAFSA and have a valid EFC, which is your expected family contribution. We have the Family Tuition Grant, which is worth $2,000 a year, and this is awarded to siblings and or parents attending Mount Aloysius full-time simultaneously. We have grants for our out-of-state students, which are $1,500 a year. We have our Heritage Grant for $2,000 a year, and this is for traditional freshmen graduating from a Catholic high school or a private Judeo-Christian school. The Bell Tower Fellowship is $1,000 a year. The Theater Scholarship, $1,000 a year. Vox Nova, our singing group, $1,000 a year. We have money for our international students, which is our International Student Grant, $12,000 a year for those on campus and $7,000 for those off campus. And we also offer endowed scholarships, which there are over 90 scholarships in various amounts that donors have given to the college to help you with your goal of attaining a degree. Mount Aloysius also offers ROTC. Army ROTC provides several scholarships each year to motivated students willing to serve their country as an Army officer. If you are interested in ROTC at Mount Aloysius, please contact the Enrollment and Scholarship Officer for availability and eligibility at admissions@mtaloy.edu. Tuition exchange. Mount Aloysius does participate in this important program, and this is for students whose parents work at a participating college or university. So if your parent works at a college or university, they would want to contact their HR department to see if they also participate. This is an excellent opportunity to have your college paid for through tuition exchange. How do I get financial aid? To make the process of applying for financial aid as easy as possible, Mount Aloysius College only requires one aid application, which is the free application for federal student aid, or FAFSA. This one form is used to determine your eligibility for all the aid sources we offer. Important deadlines to remember: FAFSA can be filed on or after October 1st each year. The state of Pennsylvania has a state grant called FIA, and the deadline for that grant is May 1st each year. The college priority deadline date is April 1st each year. So we're looking for all of our students to have their FAFSA filed by April 1st every year. Preparing to file the FAFSA. There are certain documents you will need to get in order to file the FAFSA. You're going to need copies of both the students' and parents' federal tax returns, copies of both student and parents' W-2 forms for all jobs worked, documentation of untaxed income. These are things like public assistance, workman's compensation, child support, social security benefits, anything like that. And documentation regarding investments in real estate, and you're going to exclude your home. Balances of cash, savings, and checking accounts, and documentation of net worth of businesses and investment farms. How to file the FAFSA. You're going to first go to fsaid.ed.gov and create an FSAID. The student and one parent need to create an FSAID so both of them can electronically sign the FAFSA form. Both have to have individual IDs along with individual email addresses. Once the FSAID has been created, you then can complete your FAFSA. After you file the FAFSA and the student submits it online, the information is processed by the Department of Ed and sent to schools or any other school that you have listed on the FAFSA form. Essentially, the same information that you submit on the FAFSA is sent to each school you list on the FAFSA with your EFC, or expected family contribution. The EFC is the figure that's used by schools to determine eligibility for financial aid. Once the FAFSA is received by the school, they will inform you if there is any other information needed to complete your file. It is to your advantage to submit the requested information as fast as you can, so please be prompt so that we can get our information back out to you regarding your aid package. The school will also notify the student of what financial aid he or she is eligible to receive. Again, it's all based on you handing in your information in a timely fashion. And this is going to be called your financial aid package or award letter. Additional scholarship information. You can use any of these websites on this slide, fastweb.com, collegeboard.org, or schoolsoup.com. These are websites that will make it easy for you to find other scholarships that are available throughout the United States from different organizations and groups, and these are above and beyond what the college is going to offer you. The college is here to help you, and the financial aid office wants to make this process as easy as possible. So feel free to call us at any time or email us. You can catch us at 1-888-823-2220 toll free, or the main line is 814-886-6357. You can email us at financialaid@mtaloy.edu. And we always encourage students to check out the website at mountaloy.edu, where we have all of this information posted in greater detail. This actual presentation can be found on the website as well. We're here to help. The Financial Aid Office is here to help you make a private liberal arts education affordable. If you're willing to work with us and applying for all grants and scholarships, we can help you that you will only have to pay for books and incidentals out of pocket.
So that's the end of that. And then Julia, if you want to ask me any questions, please.
Sure. I just have some general questions that I feel like would come up fairly often from students.
Sure.
So first one is, what services are available for students who may be struggling academically or emotionally/socially?
That's a great question. And I've been getting that a lot more lately, actually, which I think is I think it's just a good question. So if you're struggling as far as like grades and academics go, we do have professional tutors in our learning service commons. We also have student tutors, and these would be students who took the class that you're taking. Like say you're struggling in a psychology class. These are students who took the class and got a B or better, and they can help with tutoring for that class. We also have SI instruction, or SI, which is supplemental instruction, and sometimes professors teach this and sometimes students teach this, and these are sessions for like students in the same major or in the same class that are also struggling. And we do have study nights on campus. I think there's 2 a semester, and there's, among the studying and all the knowledge that you're going to get, there's also therapy dogs and snacks. snacks, which makes it even better. So as far as like, academics, like there's definitely a bunch of services for that. If you're struggling socially, sometimes when I was a student tutor, I thought even if people weren't completely struggling in the class, sometimes they just needed someone to talk to. And I feel like it's still a great resource, maybe if you just want to talk about the information and talk to somebody. But we also have health services if you feel like you need to talk to a therapist or like a nurse if you're struggling with like mental health. That's definitely a huge option. Like I said, you need to get involved in clubs and activities on campus. Our campus ministry and mission office is also a great resource for you to go to if you're struggling socially. And I always tell students, if you're struggling with your major and you're like, I'm not sure if this is what I want to do, we also have career services, and one of our great staff runs that, and she'll be able to say, hey, like maybe this isn't the major for you, let's sit down and speak about it. So there's lots of resources for lots of different scenarios on campus.
Awesome, good to hear. Second question, what does your average student look like in terms of admissions?
Sure. So average GPA for a student that applies to Mount Aloysius is about a 3.3 GPA. And I would say average SAT score, even though we don't look at SAT scores for the most part because we are test optional, I would say is like roughly a 1050. Now that's not to say we look at every application individually. So obviously, like if you have lower than a 3.3, it doesn't mean you're not going to get accepted. We just need to look at your high school transcript and see, hey, did they take more weighted classes? Did they take more honors classes? Is that why their GPA is a little bit lower? But average student, I would say 3.3 GPA, roughly like a 1050 SAT score. And we want to see, like, we like to see that you're involved in like classes that aren't just like all academic. Like I want to know if students are like in band or chorus or art, like that's important too.
Awesome. And then one more question, we'll end it on a fun note. What are some of your favorite parts about campus or some fun campus traditions you can think of?
That's a fun one. Thanks for asking that question. I am an alum too, so I mean, I'm a little biased.
I think we froze.
Like the group of people and everybody. So can you hear me? Did I cut out?
You just cut out right after you started talking about how you were an alumni.
Oh, great. So let me restart. Sorry, guys. So I'm an alumni, so I'm a little bit biased, but so Dancing with the Students is one of my favorite things we do on campus, and we do it every year, or we did it one year, and now we're going to do it like it's going to be a reoccurring thing. And students pick faculty or staff that they want to dance with, and then you create this whole like dance routine. And I was in it last year. Someone asked me to do it, and I got second, which I didn't feel like was so bad. And then another thing I love, we have a formal dance on campus, like a little cotillion kind of, where students like dress up in their nicest clothes, and it's very fun. But I think just my favorite part of campus is just like the atmosphere and everybody knowing everybody else, I think is really important. And I think it's great that students aren't afraid to like go into different offices and go up to different professors, like that's important to me as someone who went here, but I think it's important in general that if that's what you want, like you're going to get that here, that personalization.
Great answers. Okay.
Thanks.
Well, thank you for your time. I really appreciate it.
Thank you so much for asking me. I really appreciate it.
If any students have questions after, I'll just pass them along to you. So
yeah, that's perfect. That's awesome. And you can give them my information.
Will do.
All right. Thanks, Julia. Have a great day.
Thanks.